And they did what really good seniors do on senior day. They took control of the game. Even when we got a lead, they didn't get rattled. They battled back, and they made big shots. Got big rebounds. Obviously, Wyatt was phenomenal. This is why he, is probably the player of the year in our league. And we did not have an answer for him. They were the better team today, and we're going to have to really take a strong look in the mirror and look at some of the things that we did not do well today, and certainly address them in practice, getting ready for the A-10 tournament.
Shaka, it was almost like a boxing match where you knocked the guy flat, knocked the guy on his back, and he got up and beat you. Have you ever had a game like that where you had a team so discombobulated and they came back?
Yeah, basketball's a game of rounds. They started the game, I think, on 7-0 run, and we kind of took a punch from them and called timeout. We grew, did some good things for most of the first half, got a lead, and they came back at us, made some big plays, cut the lead down, but we were still up 5 at the half, but I just didn't feel at halftime like our guys had that same fire that.
Why?
That's a $1 million question.
I mean, your perception, why did you have that feeling?
That's just what I felt. I didn't make it up. It is what it is. The reality is, let's call it like it is. Temple, coming into this game, wanted this game really, really bad. They had a lot on the line. Senior day, NCAA tournament talk, a bye in the A-10 tournament, and they played with that level of urgency. And we did not match that level of urgency, which is extremely disappointing. And it's something that, again, we will address moving forward as coaches and players.
Shaka, was there something technically they were doing to break the press, or was it something you guys were not doing with emotion, as you said?
No, you got to give Temple credit. I mean, it's never just one team. It's what one team is doing and what another team maybe is not doing. And today, I thought what we were not doing was we didn't have great spirit and energy in our press like we normally have. We didn't get after the ball with the level of pressure that we typically do. Our traps weren't as good. We didn't close them up as well. But again, Temple deserves a lot of credit. Khalif Wyatt did a great job passing out of those traps. They're bigger guys, flashed to the ball, caught the ball, made pretty good decisions. And then, probably most importantly for them, they made some shots, a lot of shots. O'Brien made a ton of them out of transition and out of our press, and that made us pay.
Coach, how much of a defensive mismatch was Jake O'Brien today? He was 5 of 8 from 3.
He wasn't so much a defensive mismatch that it's not that we don't have someone that can guard him. It's that he made us pay out of rotation in our press. So he's a mismatch when he gets an open 3, definitely. And he made 5 out of 8 of them today.
Coach, coming in on a day where John Chaney and his team were being honored as a great young coach right now, what inspiration do you draw from that?
Oh, Coach Chaney is one of my favorite coaches of all time. Terrific. When I was a young assistant coach just getting into business, I got a chance a couple times to spend a little time around him. He's a guy that, he didn't know who I was. He would stop and talk to you. He cared about people in the business, and obviously did a great job building men. And I think sometimes so much is made of winning and losing, and he won a ton of games. But the most important thing is that we're moving these guys forward as people, and nobody did it better than Coach Chaney.
Shaka, kind of help us out, you guys. I think you guys went on like a 14-0 run against them at your place, and then they kind of sustained that from back. You see one of the turnovers. That was not the blueprint they followed.
No, I mean, I guess there's some similarities, but this game was different. Number one, it was on Temple's home floor. Number two, I think we scored 76 points in this game, which is usually enough for us to win. But we gave up 84 points. We didn't give up nearly that much in the LaSalle game. But, yeah, there's some similarities. Galloway went off on us in the LaSalle game. Wyatt had 30 today. We didn't do a good enough job out of rotation in the press. So there's some things that certainly those games have in common.
Shaka, y'all were making shots at an incredibly high rate in the first half till about the last 3.5 minutes, and then it kind of went dry. What happened? Was it their defense, your shooting combination?
Yeah, I mean, offense can come and go. And, our guys, as I told them in the locker room, I never fault guys for not making shots because they're trying to make every shot. And if you start the game 6 for 6 from 3, that's terrific. but you can't necessarily depend on doing that throughout the game. And, you know, we certainly cooled off and didn't make as many from that point, but it comes back to defense. We've got to hang our hat on our defense, no matter what's happening on the offensive end, and we did not do that today.
Darius, what kind of shape did you think you had Temple in when you guys were up 41-25? It looked like you were going to run on the floor.
Pretty good shape, but we can't get comfortable. Maybe kind of got comfortable just a little bit, and kind of took advantage of it. Stretch around 3 minutes in that first half.
You got comfortable?
Maybe just a little bit. Then when they went on their run, kind of got that edge a little bit.
Shaka, in the CAA tournament, you guys have that sort of built-in home court advantage. Is that lacking that playing in Richmond? Is that going to be the biggest difference for you guys in Brooklyn next week?
We'll see. I mean, it's certainly different. We were able to play a mile away from our campus, which was, it certainly was an advantage, but that didn't guarantee we were going to win. We still had to play good teams and win close games. So now we'll be away from home like everyone else in the league. It's not like we're at a disadvantage. We're coming in, we have a bye, so we get to watch and prepare on that first day. And then it's going to be a matter of who's playing at a high level, particularly on the defensive end, to determine who advances.
Coach, coming out of the CAA conference to one of the power conferences now in the Atlantic 10 and holding your own, how do you think people will look at VCU now?
You have to ask Dan. I mean, the only thing I can tell you is I'm proud of the fact that our guys put us in position coming into today to share first place if we'd have won today, which, you know, if you look back in the history of college basketball, nobody really does that. Nobody transitions from a smaller league to a bigger league and wins the league in the first year. Well, this is why, because you've got to win games like today, and we just didn't do what it took to win. But again, a lot of that credit goes to Temple. I mean, they fought and they made shots and they were poised. They didn't let pressure bother them, and that's why they won.
Do you think there was any points in your mind?
They sure were today. They've been an NCAA tournament team every year that Coach Dunphy's been here, and they certainly looked like one today. They were terrific. They had good balance. They had guys step up. In addition to Wyatt, even though he's their star player, you know, Brian made big plays, and Randall made shots, and Cummings had a really good game against us. Hollis Jefferson, you know, numbers-wise, didn't do as much, but he really helped them against the press, and he's a very good player. So, yeah, the answer to your question, yes.
Shaka, how are you? Kind of CAA, possibly a one, maybe a two bid league at most. You sit here. How many teams do you think will start to go to the tournament from this league?
From the Atlantic 10? I haven't taken the time really to stop and look at everyone's resume, but I would say, you know, at least 5. You know, everything's relative. It's easy for me or anyone else to say all these teams deserve to get in because you're not talking about who doesn't get in. A couple of years ago, we were one of the teams that a lot of people criticized for being included. But I'll tell you what, if Temple plays like they did today, not only can they make the NCAA tournament, or should they make the NCAA tournament, they can win games in the NCAA tournament. And that's what we all want to do.
Darius, Khalif Wyatt got to the line 16 times today. What was he doing to your defense that allowed him to keep getting back there?
He's been aggressive. You know, he's very crafty. And we just, you know, we got to help each other out as a team stop. And he was just really aggressive on offense.
Coach, you talked about the spirit your team didn't have today. When you were up 16, did you think that was a little bit of fool's gold because of the way you were shooting, or do you think something actually happened to change things after that?
Well, I don't think it was fool's gold because we were up 16 and it was a legitimate lead, but you got to keep playing. It's a 40-minute game. And particularly when you're on someone's home floor, it is extremely hard to win against a quality team on their home floor. So you have to keep playing. You got to keep pushing, like Darius said. Maybe the guys relaxed a little bit, just a little bit, and even if it's half a notch, that makes all the difference. But again, Temple deserves a lot of credit. They made a lot of big plays, and they were a huge part of why we lost that league.
Any other questions?